What's happening, guys? This is Alex over here at My Freedom Smokes, and today we're going to be talking about a new FumyTech kit that we've gotten in. This is actually pretty cool. It's called the Purely Pocket, and I really like the design of this thing. A few things kind of threw me off on it when I first started using it though, and the first thing you probably notice is this little thing here. This gets on my nerves, to be honest. Well, I'm only going to show you about that in a little bit, but you can actually take out the drip tip and put on your new or a different one. You also have the ability just to kind of slide this on up like this and just take it off. So, I mean, it's basically just a little protector for the mouthpiece. I'd say this is going to be good if you're traveling, but if you're not traveling and you're just kind of sitting at home with this thing, you really don't need it. So, so that's probably one of the first odd things you noticed about this. The other is, much like some of the other kits we've gotten, this is an all-in-one unit, meaning that you got the battery and the tank, and it all comes in one solid piece. The cool thing about this AIO kit is the fact that, like you saw a second ago, you can pull the tank out completely to refill it. It has a magnetic connection on the bottom that connects to the mod. That way all you have to do is slide it in and it locks in place. And then you just pull it right back out to refill it and replace your coil and such. So we'll talk about the mod a little bit more here in a second because I have some definite pros and cons with this. But until then, let's go ahead and flip back over to the box and see what else comes with the kit. You get your micro USB cable, and you also get an extra coil. That extra coil is already in here, and we'll go through that in a second. And you also have your warranty card, essentially just letting you know what you're liable to if the product were to go bad. Of course, through My Freedom Smokes, you always get your 60-day replacement warranty, but anything else outside of that, we'll need to contact FumyTech. So, the pros and cons of this kit. We'll start with the pros. It's always good to start with something good, right? I like the size. It's got a really nice finish on it. It's not really susceptible to fingerprints too much, which for me, I have very sweaty hands, so that's a good plus for me. I like the fact that it's not a complete all-in-one unit. You can pull out the tank to replace the coil and refill the liquid. That way, if you are having tank issues, you'll be able to also identify if it's a tank problem or a mod problem. And outside of that, another positive that I didn't realize was a positive at first is usually when you have a little section like this on the bottom of your mod, that's to unscrew it to put in your own 18650. That is not the case with this. This is a pre-installed battery. You cannot take the battery out. This right here adjusts your voltage and wattage. Well, more specifically, your wattage. So if you look at the very bottom here, oh, I'm sorry, I was incorrect. It is voltage. If you look at the very bottom, you will see little etches that say 3.5, 4.0, 4.5, and I believe, yep, you can go all the way up to 5 volts on this thing. Now, since it does go up in increments of 0.5, I don't want to say for certain that you can put it in between those and reach a different wattage, a different voltage. I would say just stick it on those preset things just to make sure your mod's going to continue to work properly. You do have your micro USB cable input right here. That way you can pass through charge while vaping. Probably the other cool thing about the tank though, before we move into the cons, is the fact that the magnetic base here is removable, like so. That means you can actually take this piece and put it on another 510 threaded tank that you currently have, that'd be the same diameter, and use it in this mod. Because again, now you can use this tank on any 510 threaded regular device you have. So this is a pretty cool little feature they've included. That way, it's still using proprietary unit, but at the same time, giving you that little extra oomph that Kanger, Aspire, and a few others don't give. Now, on to the cons. The only major con I have with this is the actual tank itself, which is why I was highlighting the magnetic part, because I do recommend putting another tank in this unit if you're going to be using it. Simply being, as I said, it does come with an extra coil head. I have already had to put this coil in after only a day. I vaped on it just a little bit yesterday. It worked really well. I came in today and I was going to use this as my all-day vape just to see how well it worked. Within the first couple puffs, I got a nasty, nasty dry hit. And I pulled out the coil, I took a look at it, it was fully saturated, but the coil itself had already had a whole bunch of gunk on it. I was using 0 milligram nicotine in a high VG liquid that wasn't too sweet. I try to give these mods the benefit of the doubt the best I can because I understand that user error is a lot of the reason that these mods wind up not functioning properly. So I try to give it the benefit of the doubt, use 0 milligram nicotine, not too sweet of a liquid, just everything that way these coils can perform the absolute best they can, and it still failed. I put the new coil in, it's a little bit of a higher ohm. The other one I believe was a 0.3. This is a 0.7 and it does work a little better, but when you vape on it, you can still kind of get that slight taste of a burnt hit, which I honestly don't understand why. Like, that hit was fine until the very tail end. At the very tail end, I could start tasting that burnt, which again, really doesn't make too much sense to me. I'm only running this at 4 volts, and the tank is full, and the coil is fully saturated. So I really wouldn't say the tank alone is a reason to not purchase this mod because the mod does make up for itself. I like the fact that it is compact, but it's a little bit larger, that way you don't lose it. It's very simple to use, plus the fact that you can customize it by taking out the little magnetic ring is a plus. So I would recommend maybe throwing something like a, I would say even something like a Kanger Aero tank. A Kanger Aero tank would probably fit in this perfectly, and considering it still runs on voltages, I would maybe put that at about 4 volts with a 1.8 coil, and you're gonna have a pretty good vape. Just as I mentioned, unfortunately, the tank just really didn't live up to my expectations. So out of 10, I would have to rate this system a 6, and that's strictly on the battery. The battery itself pulls it up to a 6. The tank, I would say, gives it that 1 or 2 extra points, simply because you have the little cool magnetic feature. So otherwise, if you're looking to purchase this mod, I highly recommend it for the mod itself, not for the tank. The tank, to me, in my opinion, just really isn't that great a quality. So again, out of 10, I would rate this whole system a 6, purely on the battery. So if you have any questions about this or if you disagree with me, feel free to leave a comment below. Otherwise, make sure to follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. With all the new stuff happening with the FDA and laws and regulations, we try to make sure our customers stay updated the best we can. So that's going to be a central hub for you to see all that information along with more of these YouTube videos. So until next time, thank you for vaping.